Okay, so it's almost been a year since Kirby Return to Dreamland Deluxe has been released, and since Kirby is an annual franchise, it's not unlikely that we could get a new Kirby game despite how big or small it may be. But this video will be focusing on a certain character in the Kirby series that has evolved into one of the main characters that I think deserves some more respect from the fans and even some developers. Let's talk about Bandana D. Bandana D has had a weird introduction to say the least. He first appeared in Kirby's Superstar game Megaton Punch, which was to see how much power you have to break Puffstar in half. Yeah, great idea guys. He was also the first opponent you fought as well, so it was more memorable than the other opponents. But after you fight him, that's pretty much it. You don't get to see him unless you want to restart the mode again. He's had multiple cameos throughout the 2000s, but in small ways. His big role however was in Return to Dreamland on the Wii. Ever since then, he's been frequently appeared in big Kirby titles, Triple Deluxe, Planet Robobot, Star Allies, and even the latest title Forgotten Land. The little guy has been in so many new games now that people say his status is more important than Meta Knight and King Dedede. Well, guess what? He still isn't. Now, don't get me wrong, I am a huge Bandana D supporter, but looking more into it, I feel like he barely gets any attention from HAL, and that's why I think he's still less important than Meta Knight and King Dedede, despite how many appearances he's getting. For example, what does he even do in the Kirby games? Like, yeah, he gives Kirby healing items to support and joins Kirby on adventures, but most of the time, he's always getting overshadowed by either the big bad enemy of the game or Kirby himself. Hell, the bosses in Forgotten Land target Kirby only and not Bandana D. He doesn't even get cool evolutions for his spear or something. Instead, he's shafted the entire game if you're playing on your own. Which brings me to my next point. Why doesn't Bandana D have a boss fight? Like, an actual boss fight. We don't talk about that one. I think the fact that he's missing one overshadows him pretty quickly compared to other characters in the series. Like, clearly there is a reason why Dedede and Meta Knight are so popular, which is that they are known for their boss fights. The sheer intensity of them are what makes them iconic, plus with their banning music helps them too. Like, they were not messing around with these. So, what does Bandana D have?
Nothing!
Like, the only thing we have is that one Waddle Doo boss fight in Kirby 64, and we don't even know if that Waddle Doo was even Bandana D or not. What's worse for him is how other characters in the series who appear for like 1 or 2 Kirby games have boss fights on their own and show their full potential. I think this is the reason why Kirby fans, well, non-Kirby fans, would rather have characters like Magolor or Marx over Bandana D, even though he's already an established character. But you know what Magolor also has? His own side mode! It's actually baffling how Bandana D doesn't have his own game yet. After all the opportunities they had, especially Forgotten Land, they still didn't use him. Now, yes, he has become the player 2 of the series, rivaling other characters like Luigi and Diddy Kong for example. But here's the thing, Luigi and Diddy Kong already have their time to shine in games of their own. Luigi's Mansion, Diddy Kong's Quest and Diddy Kong Racing, and hell, even Dixie Kong, who took the role of Diddy from the first game, even she got her own adventure in the next installment. Toad, who is the supporting side character, also had a few games up his sleeve. Even fucking Tails had his own game at one point. So after all of this, I'm just sitting there asking, when is Bandana D going to get his own game? Because we are long overdue for one. I think this is the reason why people underestimate him as a Smash Bros fighter, due to how he hasn't shown his full potential. Obviously, he should still be in Smash Bros. I've been wanting him before Smash Ultimate got revealed, and I think he deserves it for how far he's come. But if Kirby fans want people who aren't into Kirby to see how important Bandana D is, then he needs to have a boss fight or become the main character in a game for people to talk fondly of. He needs that iconic moment, something that would make people remember for ages, whether it be in game starring him or a boss fight. But he just doesn't have that yet, which is the main problem. I don't want people to feel like I hate Bandana D or anything, I have been needing to get this off my chest for a while now. So overall, when the next Kirby game finally arrives and I see him just there to fill the second player role, I'll be very disappointed.